People inside the mall thought they were watching a criminal being dragged out. But no one knew. The man handcuffed on the floor was connected to the most powerful family in the entire city. A truth that would flip every single accusation upside down. Saturday afternoons at West Haven Mall were always loud, crowded, and full of noise. But today, something felt different. People in the clothing store stopped talking the moment they heard. Raised voices coming from the back section. A few shoppers peeked over clothing racks, thinking a fight was about to break out. Others stepped aside as two officers rushed inside, following the store manager who was waving his hands dramatically. "Right there! That's him!" the manager shouted, pointing toward a black man standing quietly near the jackets. The manager looked furious, almost too desperate, like he wanted something bad to happen. The man he pointed at, Jordan Miller, wasn't arguing, wasn't yelling, wasn't even moving. He just looked confused, holding a shirt he had been planning to buy. Before Jordan could speak, one of the officers grabbed his wrist. "Sir, step aside. We got a complaint about aggressive behavior." Jordan blinked. "Aggressive? I just asked for a different size." But the manager cut him off. "He threatened me. He scared the staff. We don't tolerate that here." People whispered. Phones came out. Shoppers recorded everything. The shouting, the accusations, the uniformed officers stepping closer. Jordan raised his hands, trying to calm the situation. But that only seemed to make the manager push even harder. "He's lying," Jordan tried to say. But the officers had already decided. They grabbed his arm harder, twisting it behind his back. A woman gasped. Someone whispered, "They're really arresting him?" Jordan's heart was pounding. Not because he was guilty, but because he knew exactly how fast a small lie could turn into something dangerous, and he could feel the situation slipping out of his hands. "Stop resisting!" one officer yelled, even though Jordan wasn't resisting at all. His voice echoed through the store, making more people gather at the doorway. A little boy watching with his mother whispered, "Mom, why are they handcuffing him? He didn't do anything." Jordan stayed calm, breathing slowly, trying to keep his voice steady. "Officer, please listen." But they didn't. The second officer pushed him to the floor. Shoppers gasped and stepped back, the cold tiles pressed against Jordan's cheek as handcuffs tightened around his wrists. The bright mall lights above him blurred as people leaned around shelves to watch. The manager smirked, folding his arms like he had finally gotten what he wanted. "Maybe next time you'll learn how to behave," he said loudly so everyone could hear. Jordan clenched his jaw. He wanted to speak. He wanted to explain. But something inside him whispered to stay silent. Not here, not now. As the officers lifted him roughly, dragging him toward the entrance of the store, people recorded every second. Mothers pulled their kids away. Workers stopped what they were doing. The situation was turning into a public scene, a humiliating one. And no one had any idea who Jordan really was. No one knew the truth about his family. No one knew the one person who would destroy every lie told today. No one knew the cameras above their heads had captured every second. And absolutely no one knew who was already on their way to the mall, and how their arrival would change everything. The moment Jordan was dragged out of the store, the mall entrance went silent. People watched from behind pillars and escalators, unsure if they were seeing justice or a mistake. Jordan kept his head lowered, trying to breathe steadily as the officers pushed him toward a bench near the security desk. "Sit down and don't move," one officer ordered. Jordan didn't fight it. He stared at the floor, listening to the shaky breaths around him, the murmurs, the quiet shame building inside his chest. He wasn't angry. He was disappointed. Disappointed because he had been here before. Disappointed because he knew exactly how quickly a lie could spread when no one wants to hear the truth. The manager stood nearby, arms crossed, acting like a hero. "I told you," he bragged loudly. "He scared my employees. You should ban him from the mall." People around him nodded, not because they were sure, but because the man sounded confident. That alone was enough to convince some. But then the mall doors opened, and everything changed. A tall man in a charcoal suit strode inside with two private security agents behind him. People turned instantly, the kind of reaction that only happened when someone powerful entered a room. His presence alone felt heavy. His expression was cold and controlled. This was Marcus Miller, billionaire, CEO of Miller Holdings, and Jordan's older brother. He didn't waste a second. "Where is he?" Marcus demanded. The officer pointed casually. "We have the suspect detained." "The manager." Marcus ignored him and rushed to Jordan. He crouched beside him, placing a hand gently on his shoulder. "Jordan, are you hurt?" Jordan shook his head, but his eyes told the truth. He was humiliated. Marcus stood up slowly, and the entire atmosphere shifted. "Who put their hands on my brother?" His voice was low, dangerous. The manager laughed nervously. Your brother? Sir, I didn't know." "You didn't need to know," Marcus replied, stepping closer. "You just needed to tell the truth." "Did you?" The manager swallowed hard. He was aggressive. "He threatened us." Marcus didn't even look at him. Instead, he turned to the mall security chief. "Pull the camera footage, now." Security hesitated. "Sir, we—" "Now," Marcus repeated, and the authority in his voice left no room for argument. Footage flashed onto a monitor behind the desk. The entire crowd leaned in as the truth unfolded. Jordan calmly asking for a different size. The manager walking up angrily. No aggression, no threat. Nothing, except the manager pushing the situation into chaos. People gasped. A woman covered her mouth. Someone whispered, "He didn't do anything." The officer who had slammed Jordan to the floor stepped back, guilt washing over him. The other officer looked pale. Marcus pointed at the screen. "This is your aggressive suspect? This is what you threw on the ground? Handcuffed? Humiliated in front of hundreds of people?" The officers lowered their eyes. Then Marcus looked at the manager. Not yelling, not angry, just disappointed in a way that cut deeper than any shout could. "You called the police on a man because you didn't like how he looked speaking to you. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a lie. And a dangerous one." The manager stuttered. "Sir, I didn't mean—" "You're done," Marcus said coldly. "Security, remove him from the store, permanently." The manager's face dropped as two guards stepped forward. The crowd watched in stunned silence as he was escorted out, the same walk he had forced Jordan to take minutes earlier. The officers took off Jordan's handcuffs quickly. "Sir, we apologize." Marcus raised a hand. "Save it. You're filing a written report, and you're including the footage. All of it." Jordan stood slowly, rubbing his wrists. He wasn't angry. He wasn't yelling. He just looked tired. But when he looked at Marcus, there was gratitude in his eyes. "Thank you for coming," Jordan said quietly. Marcus placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "I'll always come." "Your family." People in the crowd lowered their phones. For the first time that afternoon, they didn't see a suspect. They saw a man, a brother, who nearly had his life twisted by a lie. As Marcus walked Jordan out of the mall, he turned back once more. "Let this be a lesson," he said. "Sometimes the real danger isn't who you fear, it's who you believe without checking the truth." The mall stayed silent long after they left. And for everyone who witnessed what happened, the truth hit harder than any headline. Injustice can happen in seconds. But exposing the truth can change everything.